Welcome to the Julie Laughton Living Podcast, the place to get advice, tips, and tricks to building the life and luxury home of your dreams with 30-year business owner, designer, and builder, Julie Laughton. It all starts with a good plan. This is Julie Laughton Living.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Julie Laughton Podcast. Thank you. Hold on. Welcome back, everybody, to the Julie Laughton Podcast. Join me. Today, we're going to talk about team building. But before we do that, make sure you check out Simple Steps on my website. It's very helpful. Gives you the whole big picture of what to expect when you remodel or build a custom home from ground up. And again, today's topic is team building. What does it mean to have a team, and who should be on your team, and how do you pick your team, and what's the importance of a team? So today I will explain all that. The first thing about a team is think about it. Look at an or conductor. Look at a marching band. Look at a military unit. Look at how a team works. It moves together. It moves in sync, sort of like synchronized swimming, because everybody has a plan and there's a leader and everybody has their role, their exact the teams. So the importance of that in construction and in design is that you have a plan, like there's a plan and there's an order to everything and a process. And if you don't have a team that helps you execute all this, you can't do everything by yourself. That's not good. You have to have team members. And a lot of people don't actually have a team, which is scary. They just hire people randomly as they need work done, and they sort of wing it as they're going through your project. And you'll see this a lot with the bad contractor. They have their team in place. I mistakenly worked last year, and he, claimed he had a team and had his shit together, but he didn't have anybody. So when he was asked to do things, he couldn't, because he couldn't get anybody to show up. So that's what a team is it's like you're all hooked together and you all move together in like synchronized swimming with a plan. So I can't say a true team is people that are years and know other and know how each other works, and they all fit. They're all part of the puzzle that solves the problems for you. So it's funny, because when I first started out in this business, I was, in the very beginning, when I moved from New York City, where I was always part of a team, I came to California and I got into residential kind of by default by designing kitchens. I got into the homeowner's house. They would fire the architect or the designer and the contractor, and then I would be ended up doing things because I was the most organized. I hate to say this, most organized, professional, educated person in the room, usually in residential, because residential has a little teeny problem with people picking people that aren't qualified. It's amazing homeowners hire that they shouldn't hire. But anyway, I noticed that a lot in the early 90s when I was in Laguna. And so the homeowner would hire me to take over stuff. And I already had the abilities to do the drafting and the design and the architectural designs and the interior design, because that's what I went to college for, and that was my 10 years in New York City experience. So in the beginning, I literally did everything myself. I would, work with the client, draw plans by hand, take them to the city, get them permitted, go through the whole planning department and building department at the counter for hours and hours at both City of Newport and City of Laguna for a good 30 years. And I learned very quickly that, of course, I can't draft all day and then go to the city and then meet with the client and then go shopping for the materials and then work with everybody in the field and all the workers, so it was impossible. So my first thing I did is I got drafts. I still drew, but I had someone else do the plans and put them on the computer, of course, because we're talking 25 years ago. So then I got my first office assistant and somebody building, because I was every Friday night, and then you have, when you're a contractor, there's a ridiculous amount of codes and regulations and paperwork and insurance that you have to keep up with, and reports and things you have to do. So actually I got another person, and then now I have, 3 people in the office and then 3 people in the field helping me, but in the beginning, I literally did everything like, all if anybody's listening and you start your own business, you will do the in the beginning, you'll do everything because 'cause you're still building your business, but it's very important to know who to hire, and that's a whole nother podcast. In my case, I have a team in the office, an architecture department, I have an interior design department, construction company. So the job site is made up of, foremans and superintendents and a project manager. So there's all this process that takes place of who's doing what and who is, following the schedule, well, creating the schedules to ensure everybody follows the schedule. So, sorry, got that cough. The schedule is one thing, but coordinating all the individuals to show up is the project manager. So it's an immense amount of effort to coordinate 50 subs, plus the employees, and everything goes in order back to back. So every single day is like, where is the guy? What time's he going to show up? How long is he going to take to finish? That's the 3 questions you're always asking yourself as a project manager. But so you have, the project manager, which is the overall picture of the whole job and the scheduling, and then the foreman and the superintendent around and instructing and explaining things, what needs to be done from dirt to drywall, and then drywall to set and finish. So it's a whole process with, like I said, a project manager, a foreman, and a superintendent, and then all the demo, the cleaning, the carpentry, the finished carpentry, the framing, of course. That's all done in house. So it's a lot to orchestrate. So the secret to having a five-star product is, of course, doing quality only and not skipping on the steps or the quality of the material. I refuse to use cheap materials. I just can't. And we don't use particle boards. We don't cheap out on anything to make a buck. We actually probably pay more to work than the client realizes because we use quality product and we use quality subs. And then of course our subs are with is 10, 20, and 30 years. So there's something to be said about working with people over a long time and building that relationship. Because you can't have a happy thing without the relationships and all the it's like I call that circle, the relationship with the client, the relationship with the subs and the employees. It's all got to be one happy circle of constant, flow of good energy because it just takes one bad apple or one bad client to really screw, and then it just sours for everybody. But the only one that really ever screws up our jobs is the client, and it's unfortunate. But to this day, I have picked a couple bad ones recently, and it's on me. But team is solid because we all respect each other. So when we show up, it's like full force. Let's get this done. And nothing stops us. We love working together. And it really shows at the end of the day, the quality and the the whole company is positive. And that makes a huge difference on a home, and it affects everything that's when it's not. So I pride myself on having a good positive team. So probably the most important thing you can do for yourself is be careful what you wish for and be careful who you socialize with because I mean, it's please, you gotta be so careful. Do not work with people. And I'm talking don't work with clients that are a nightmare because I've been through it and there's nothing worse because you're stuck with them for like a year and you can't change them. And some people are downright nasty and downright rude and downright just want to screw you. I mean, it's really sad, but I've been through it, less than 10 times in my career, but there's nothing worse. But as far as in my team, I handpick everybody and everybody's pretty much like me, solid, educated, experienced, kind, respectful. We all want to work. We all love what we do. It's a passion. It's our life, what we're doing. It's not just a job, it's our life. You know, what we're dedicated to this business for our whole life until we retire. So it's very important, all you youngsters out there. Careful what client you pick. It can change your world for good or worse. And just relationships. Look for the warning signs. Trust your gut. Don't work with people that are disrespectful day one because that's not going to change. And the same with me hiring my employees and workers that there's a whole vetting process of are these people ready to work? Are they ready to go? So again, that's a whole nother podcast. Importance of tried and true team. I cannot say enough about picking your team, choosing, just like choosing your friends. You can pick your friends, you can pick your everybody, but you can't pick your family, but you got to deal with it. There's that old saying, but be careful what you wish for and choose wisely and trust your gut. And your team is everything because your team is an extension of you. So be mindful, trust your gut, and surround yourself with like people. Don't forget to check out my 7 simple steps before you click off or click off and go check out my website and share it with your friends and use tips. I hope they're helpful, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Julie Laughton Living. For more information or to connect with Julie one-on-one, visit julielaughtonliving.com. And don't forget, it all starts with a good plan.